Alright, so here is the batch mix. We have two voices, one regular one, so all around this sequencer here, sequencer basal VCA ADSR, and the other random one around this sample and hold unit here, sample and hold and quantizer of course, and pulsar, pulsar, and a little bit of reverb. The voices, the audio stream of the voices meet here in the mixer. This is the main audio mixer, and this mixer is switched on and off. The mixer channels are not switched but faded in and out by this LFO here, this LFO, through limiters. So let's follow one modulation path. The square output goes to the inverter. From the inverter it goes to the right through limiter, and from there it goes here to mixer channel 2, whereas mixer channel 1 is mixer channel 1 is modulated, faded in and out from the signal coming from the left through limiter, which is directly fed by the LFO here, the right one here above, without the inverter. So it's consecutively mixer channel 1, mixer channel 2. So let me talk a little bit about the clocks. We have here, let me name it like that, a kind of central clock LFO. First, this LFO triggers the sample and hold unit, and through a clock divider, a 1 to 2 clock divider, it also delivers the clock for the sequencer here. So the sequencer runs at half the speed of the generating of new samples by the sample and hold unit, of new sample CVs. So this random voice, the pitch development of the random voice is normally faster than the melody line. The notes in the melody line follow one each other. When I say regular, then of course only if the sample and hold delivered pitch doesn't exceed the range, the maximum pitch range here, set by the VCA or the quantizer. Alright, so two voices, regular one, random one. Both are clocked, the development of both are clocked by the same LFO, which the random one at double speed and the regular one at half speed. But there is, as I wrote in the book, there is an additional modulation or change going on. Let's at first talk about the sequencer here. The sequencer runs at two scales. It's always the blues scale, but the same scale but two keys. Blues scale in C and blues scale in F. And the switching between F and C as the key, that happens because of the left LFO here above, which runs at a slower frequency than the right one. And again we use only the square wave. So when it's at a high, the key CV input gets a higher voltage and it jumps to the F key. I'm lucky with F. Otherwise, I would have to insert the VCA to limit the high level of this LFO if it, for example, would jump to G sharp or something, which I don't want. So now the changing of the region, the range of the irregular voice here, the pitch range of the irregular voice. The quantum quantizer here is fed by a CV mixer, and the CV mixer gets its two here, its two inputs, one from, of course, the VCA, which is attenuating the signals from the sample and hold unit, and the other is simply an offset of 4 octaves for voice, 4 volt with 1 volt per octave characteristic. So what happens when oh yes, and both channels are no, only one, of course. The offset, the mixer channel where the offset is fed in, is modulated by the right LFO here, the same LFO, so at the same frequency, the same LFO which modulates or causes the jumps from key C to key F here, and this same LFO opens and closes, no fading in, fading out, brutally closing and sharp opening of mixer channel 1, which is the offset. So from time to time, according to this left LFO here, the output of the mixer jumps. The CV at the output of the mixer here jumps, and therefore the generated pitches generated by quantum may reach higher pitches, higher frequencies. The lower frequencies stay the same. So if the mixer channel 1 here is switched off by this LFO here, then we get only what is generated by the sample and hold unit, limited by this VCA. So we have quite narrow pitch range. And when this mixer channel is opened, the pitch range exceeds dramatically, because the sum of both channels come out of the mixer and make quantum do its work. So let's listen to, and also what is the consequence of this all? Not only that the patch jumps between or changes between, it's not jump, it's fading in and out because of the slew limiters here. So not only that the patch changes between a regular and random voice, but also every second time the random voice is faded in, its pitches are rather high, and the other time the pitches are rather low, according to the range here. And each second time the borderland sequencer is switched on and off. Yes, the regular voice is switched on and off here, or faded in and out in this mixer. Each second time we have a different key for the scale. And well, I can play around with these two frequencies so that the changing of the key is not synchronous to the changing between the regular voice and the random voice and things like that. Let me do it. Let me change it a little bit here. So, and then let's listen for a while to get it.